Hello and welcome back to the Sad Alcoholic Kitchen. My name is Matt, I'm a sad alcoholic, and this is my kitchen. Today we're making chili for my buddy Chris. He says it's one of his favorite of all time. I'm glad he likes it. Everything laid out here, all our spices, everything else. We got beans on beans on beans on beans. I just love beans. We're going for a different drink today. Similar, but a little different. Usually I go for the Jameson. Sometimes I like to go a little wild. Look at this bullet. It's a little stronger, 45% rather than 40 of what I usually. Just a little extra fun I like to have. Let's get started on making that chili. Boom. Peppers. Boom. Onions. Boom. Bacon. Boom. Let's get all these beans out of the cans and into somewhere else. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. I like to wash my beans as much as I enjoy them, cleaning them and everything. I don't enjoy the sandy residue left in the cans, so I just rinse it for a while till all that comes off. Throwing some chipotle peppers in there. It smells so good. I love that smoky flavor. So if you didn't know, this chili recipe is kind of a family recipe, or at least I say it is. It's something my mom used to make when I was a kid, and I just never stopped liking it. And at some point, I decided to make it my own. I've made a lot of changes over the years, and I think it's really coming along. I don't think it's perfected yet, but it's getting pretty close. So we're gonna start with cooking up the meats. Here I got 2 pounds of ground beef, and I got 1 pound of smoked bacon. For that extra smoky flavor, we're gonna start up the oven. We'll get those meats browned up. Alright, we got our bacon and our beef all browned up. I've had a strange time figuring out how to get kind of a fun with this. There's so much grease. I usually don't bother. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you cook too long, the meat kind of gets a little dry. Obviously, I season it with the ramen spice concoction of Sin. Throwing a little bit in there. Next thing we're going to be putting in the onions and garlic. You want to mix that around, cook it until the onions get translucent. Mix it in there together. It makes it, typically onions and garlic do that, but it'll make it taste really good. We got the onions nice and translucent, so the next step is kind of just to add everything else. We'll go with the beans first, typically is how I do it. We'll empty the whole colander. Put our peppers in. Last but not least, I left the corn in there. A little unprepared. I should have cut this open, had it ready. Fortunately, I did not. Put the corn in, all in there. I'm a really big fan of pepper, so I like to add in a bunch of pepper. Obviously, we're adding in all the fucking spices right now. Love pepper. Like pepper. Now there's already a lot of garlic in there. But I love garlic, so we're going to add some more garlic powder. A little onion powder. Put our chipotle chilies on top of it. Doesn't really matter which step you add any of this in. Go with smoked paprika. Obviously, I love the smoky flavor. Add some of that. I'm going to get like a teaspoon's worth. Typically, I will add an entire, smaller container of chili powder and go from there. I've learned the hard way that too much chili powder can make it not good. It adds too much of that bitter kind of flavor. We're going to go with cumin. I've learned that I like the cumin flavor more than I like the chili powder. maybe like a tablespoon or two. This is a big recipe. My mom originally made this recipe for 4 people, and obviously I love everything. A flavor that I've recently come to love is arrachera seasoning. It just adds a little extra in there. A little spice, a little flavor. It's really good. We're gonna put I got 4 cans of tomato sauce for this. The original called for 2, but this is way bigger than it was originally planned to be. So I kind of had to double it to make up for it. And then we will fill those up with water. Get the rest of that water in there. Boom, boom, boom. Obviously, this is a little unorthodox. The amount of seasonings and everything and ingredients is a little ambiguous. I spent many years and many attempts trying to perfect this, trying to get what I want versus what other people say they think is good. Typically I make this for myself, but you know, my buddy Chris, he loves it. I try to take into account what other people want when I make it. He's gonna get a big ol' helping of this. And we'll mix this all up. Oh, I'll make a little bit of a mess. It's fine. So you mix it up. You let it, bring it up. I mean, it's on high now, but we'll take it down to a simmer and let it sit. I like to taste it now so I can get a good gauge. Most of this recipe is kind of based on my taste when I do it. I'll taste it and I know how bitter or extra spices I need to add to make it mellow out by the end. I cook it for, you know, typically an hour, sometimes longer, depending on how I want all the flavors to stew together. Alright, I mixed all those around together. I decided to add in another half a container of chili powder and a little more cumin. I like to have it a little more bitter at the beginning, because when everything is introduced over a time of an hour or more, things tend to mellow out. Obviously I'm going to go for 2 little nugs of chocolate. As you know, that's how I fix the acidity factor. Not just chili, but food in general. Why not? If I find an application that maybe I shouldn't do that, I'll definitely make note of that. I feel like this needs a little more salt, so we're going to add some of this umami powder that I got. It's not just flavor, but a lot of salt as well. It just tastes really good in general. I'll throw that in there. Things are coming up to kind of boiling right now, so that means we're going to turn this down to a simmer. This is going to get covered up, and we're going to come back in probably about half an hour, 45 minutes, check on it, just make sure everything's coming together. Alright, we're coming to check in on it. It's been simmering. Before it got hot, things were sticking to the bottom of the pan, but it's been on low and simmering for a while. Everything's coming off the bottom, so all that extra burnt on flavor is coming back into it. Seems pretty good. Surprisingly, amount of viscousness is exactly how I like it. I usually don't like it too thin and watery. I like something a little more soupy, or not soupy, I don't know, thick. We'll taste it here. Ooh. A little burning. It's actually really good. Just kind of surprised. Usually I have to do a lot of adjustments, but everything so far on this batch has been perfect. I like it. We'll let it sit maybe another hour, and then we'll check back again. Yo, we're getting our rice going. The chilies get to that point where it's going to get getting fairly smooth. Do the little rice trick. We take our little rice bowl, get it up to a knuckle. A little more. Shake. That's definitely up to a knuckle, maybe a little bit less. Alright, it's going in the cooker. Turn it on. White rice. And it'll be when it's done. Alright, here we have the finished product. It's been doing actually a lot longer than I had intended, but it has come out very well. It tastes very delicious. Turn this heat off because it's done cooking. Take our nice big bowl. We got the rice completely done. It's actually a lot of rice. I don't think I intended to make that much. Take our spoon. Scoop into that. Always got to go with rice when you have some chili. Wait. Very nice. Close that. A nice bed of rice. We'll go in for some chili. Scoop that in. Make sure we don't drip all over the stove. I like kind of like a little more rice than chili ratio. I'm usually all about the starches rather than the proteins. Boom. We've got some pre-grated smoked Gouda, in case you couldn't tell that I love the smoky flavor in things already. Add that to the bowl, mix it all up, it'll get melted, add to the smokiness. Alright, here we have the end result. All the cheese is melted, it's been mixed up, it's settled, it's cooled down, it's ready for a nice big spoonful. See how it goes. Everything up until now is telling me that this has been a great batch, maybe my best. We'll see how it go for a big old spoonful. The flavor is definitely there. I think I probably could have added a little more salt. Moving forward, I'll add some more of that. Ended up being really good. This is for you, Chris. I'm gonna make sure I pack up a bunch for you. If somebody else has something else they want me to taste, for me to cook rather, let me know in the comments. I'll see what I can do. I'll see you in the next one.